Hannah, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then I post a new YouTube video every Friday, and my videos are either about gymnastics, fitness or lifestyle. Today I'm going to be talking about gymnastics myths. So these are misconceptions and assumptions that people have about gymnastics that aren't necessarily true. I'm going to be saying each one and explaining why it's a myth. And if you're not a gymnast, I'm pretty sure you would have believed a few of these yourself. But if you are a gymnast, I'm sure you've had a few people ask you these types of questions. I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. To be honest, a lot of gymnasts are short, but there's also loads of tall gymnasts as well. Like, you can be any height to do gymnastics. You don't have to be short. There are advantages of being tall and short. So at the start of gymnastics, we have to stand in a line from tallest to shortest. I think it's just because it looks neat. And for a while, I was at the top of that line. I was the tallest at 5'4", and 5'4" is actually average height for my age, but my family always think I'm really short. So for my gymnastics class, I guess I was the tallest for a while. Now people have overtaken me. So I think the tallest in our gym, I don't even know, but I'm gonna guess around 5'6". But I've seen taller gymnasts for sure, and they've still done amazingly. It doesn't affect your gymnastics that much at all. So no, you don't have to be short to be a gymnast. I don't really know where that came from. I have never really fully understood this. I know nowadays that people are starting to realise that it's definitely not just a girl's sport. I don't see why any sport should have a certain gender that it associates to. Maybe with gymnastics, it's the whole like wearing leotards thing that people just associate gymnastics with girls, and I guess a lot of people have also seen in the Olympics the floor routines have a lot of dance, and gymnastics is very graceful, but there are so many types of gymnastics now. I'm sure you've seen the men's Olympic gymnastics team, and they're so strong, they're amazing. The boys can definitely do gymnastics as well. And because I've been doing gymnastics for like 16 years, wow, that's a long time. I've been doing gymnastics for 16 years, and I remember when I was younger, my whole class would be girls, but nowadays, it's definitely a mixture. This is not necessarily true. I started gymnastics when I was 7. That's apparently late to start gymnastics. A lot of kids nowadays, I guess, are starting as soon as they can walk. They're going to like mama baby classes, toddler gymnastics, preschool stuff. You can start very young in gymnastics, but you don't have to. You can still get to a really high level from starting later. I've seen people start at, I don't know, 10, 11, 12. Also, there are adults that have started gymnastics, so they didn't do gymnastics when they were kids. They've started as adults, and they've been able to get to a pretty good level of gymnastics. Yes, it might take you a bit longer, and you might need more training. I think the reason why people think this is when you're younger, it's easier to improve your flexibility. You're not scared of trying skills when you're a kid because you don't know what can go wrong, as when you're older, you know about injuries and everything like that. It could be harder for some people to get into gymnastics when they're older, but it's not impossible at all. I go to adult gymnastics. I've seen a guy in his 70s. This is definitely a myth. You do not have to start young to get to a good level at all. I can understand why people say this, and yes, gymnastics can be very dangerous and cause lots of injuries, a lot of strain on your body, but it's only dangerous if you make it dangerous. So if you're not stretching before your gymnastics class, if you are chucking skills that you haven't learnt yet, if you're not listening to your coach, if you're not checking equipment before you go, that kind of thing is going to make it dangerous because you're more likely to have an injury. But in general, if you are really looking after your body, you're really listening to your coach, listening to the corrections, only doing skills that you're ready to do, and repetition of those skills so that you know exactly how to do them, is not dangerous. For example, if there was a gymnast who couldn't do a standing back handspring yet, they've never tried it, they've never had a coach support them do it, they can't do the skill. If they just went for it, that would be dangerous. But if I just went for a standing back handspring, it wouldn't be dangerous because I've learnt it and it's like second nature now. Like I don't even have to think about it. It just seems easy. It's like walking, like you can just do it. So aspects of it can be dangerous, and there have been some awful injuries in gymnastics. So I understand why people think this, but like any sport, if you really train for it, 9 times out of 10, it's not dangerous. This one I actually agree with. I don't think this is fully a myth. It does depend on which club you go to, how many leotards you buy, how many competitions you do. If you're just going to gymnastics for fun, you're just doing it as a hobby, you're not competing, you only train once a week, it's not expensive. But if you're competing, if you're having to buy all these leotards and tracksuits, you're training 20 or 30 hours a week, yes, of course it's going to be expensive, it's going to add up. I think generally gymnastics is one of the more expensive sports, but it's definitely not the most expensive out there. There are ways of making it less expensive. When I tell people I'm a gymnast, people go, oh, so you're really flexible then? You do not have to be super flexible. Yes, it helps, but when you start gymnastics, you don't have to have the flexibility you need. That's something that you can learn. When I started gymnastics, I didn't have my splits, I didn't have my bridge, I couldn't do a pike fold, Japana, stuff like that. These are all things you practice over time at gymnastics and you become flexible. Some lucky people are naturally flexible, but that is not everyone, and it doesn't mean that if you're not naturally flexible that you can't do gymnastics. I'm very not naturally flexible. That's the thing. But I have the flexibility I need for the gymnastics that I do. Also, for some gymnastics like tumbling, you don't want to be too flexible because it's going to make your flicks really short. It really depends on what you want to do. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope if you're not a gymnast, this gave you some knowledge on some of the main misconceptions about gymnastics. If you have a video idea you'd like me to post on YouTube, then either comment it down below or DM me on either of my Instagrams, and if I use your video idea, I will give you a shout out in the video and follow you back on Instagram. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye!